When I received a mysterious message from my husband one evening, little did I know it would unravel the tapestry of our marriage. A sudden discovery, a young woman, an intimate dinner, and a cake celebrating an anniversary. But not ours. As I delved deeper into the shadows of secrecy and betrayal, I embarked on an emotional journey that would test the very foundations of our love. But, as the adage goes, after the storm comes, the calm. This is our story, a testament to love, resilience, and the strength of second chances. My name is Carol, and this is my story. It was one of those quiet evenings. The air carried a chill, the last reminder of winter giving way to spring. I sat curled up on my favorite couch, watching reruns of old sitcoms when my phone buzzed with a message. Glancing at the screen, I saw my husband's name flash. "Don't wait up," was all the message read. I frowned, puzzled. He had never sent such a brief message without any context. We were both creatures of habit. Our weekdays were pretty much set in stone. Work, dinner, some quiet time together, and bed. It was our little ritual, a way to ensure we always spent time with each other, despite our busy lives. That's odd, I thought, trying to decipher the hidden meaning. It wasn't like him to be out without mentioning it to me, especially late at night. He probably has some unexpected work meeting or is hanging out with the guys, I said to myself, attempting to brush off the uneasy feeling. But as the hours ticked by, my concern grew. It wasn't like him to be out this late without at least calling. I started imagining all sorts of scenarios. Had there been an accident? Was he okay? Maybe he was planning a surprise for our upcoming anniversary. Around 1 a.m., curiosity got the better of me. I decided to check our shared location, a little digital string that always kept us connected. I expected to see him at his office, but to my shock, his location showed he was at the city's poshest hotel. What is he doing there? I wondered, my heart racing with anxiety. In a split decision, I decided to drive to the hotel. Maybe he was there for a work event, and I could surprise him, I reasoned. The streets were almost deserted, and the neon lights cast an eerie glow on the wet tarmac. The cool night breeze mixed with my growing trepidation. Arriving at the hotel, I parked my car and made my way to the lobby. The opulence of the place always left me in awe. Golden chandeliers, plush carpets, and soft jazz playing in the background. But tonight, it all felt like a blur. I was on a mission. I decided to check the hotel's restaurant first. Quietly slipping in, I scanned the place. And then I saw him. He was seated at a dimly lit corner table, but he wasn't alone. A woman, much younger than me, with cascading golden hair, sat across from him. They seemed engrossed in conversation, occasionally laughing, her hand resting on his. They were celebrating. A cake with the words, "Happy Anniversary," was placed between them. The world around me seemed to collapse. My head spun as my heart felt like it had been ripped apart. This can't be, I thought, trying to rationalize. There must be a logical explanation. Hiding behind a pillar, I strained to hear their conversation. Every word they exchanged felt like a dagger piercing deeper into my soul. I pulled out my phone, capturing a picture of them together, a shred of evidence of my crumbling world. With the evidence saved on my phone, I slipped out of the restaurant, my footsteps heavy with the weight of betrayal. The cool air outside did nothing to soothe the burning rage and confusion coursing through me. Why? How? When? These questions played on repeat in my mind. As I got into my car, the rational part of my brain tried to take over. I needed answers. Direct confrontation seemed like the best approach, but not tonight, not when emotions were so raw. Sleep was elusive that night. My mind replayed the scene at the restaurant over and over. The way he laughed, the intimacy, the cake. The word anniversary gnawed at me. Our anniversary was still a week away. Could it be a work anniversary? Or something else entirely? I questioned, trying to find any sliver of hope. The next morning, a plan began to form. I needed to know who this woman was. All I had was her face from the photos. With my husband gone to work, I opened his home office, searching for any clue. It felt wrong, violating his privacy like this, but betrayal had blurred those lines. Hours of sifting through his papers and computer files yielded no answers. Until, buried deep within his emails, I found a string of correspondence with a certain Elena. The emails started innocently enough, discussing work projects, but slowly took on a more personal tone. The most recent one was an invitation to celebrate their special day. Elena's email signature gave away her workplace. She was a senior designer at a renowned architectural firm in the city. I decided to pay her a visit. The firm was housed in a sleek glass building downtown. Gathering my courage, I walked up to the reception. "I'm here to see Elena," I said, trying to sound as casual as possible. The receptionist eyed me suspiciously, but after checking her schedule, she said, "She's free right now. 12th floor, 4th door to your right." My heart raced as I took the elevator up. Outside her office door, I hesitated. The plaque read, "Elena Martinez, Senior Designer." Taking a deep breath, I knocked. She looked up as I entered, her face a picture of surprise. "Can I help you?" she asked. "I think you already have," I replied icily, showing her the picture from the restaurant. Her face drained of color. "Listen," she began. "I think there's been a misunderstanding." "Really? Explain," I retorted, my voice dripping with sarcasm. Elena sighed. "That anniversary we were celebrating? It's the anniversary of our first project together. We've been partners on multiple architectural projects over the years. I lost my husband 2 years ago, and your husband has been a great friend, helping me cope." I was taken aback. "But the intimate conversations, the touch, the laughter," she looked down. "Grief does strange things to people. We found solace in each other's company. It's never been romantic, but I understand how it might look. I'm truly sorry." As I left her office, my mind was a whirlwind. Was Elena telling the truth? Was it just a platonic relationship that I'd misconstrued? But then why the secrecy from my husband? I drove home in a daze, the city lights flashing past me, their brilliance mirroring the chaos of my thoughts. Elena's words circled my mind. Could I have been wrong? Or was she just trying to cover up their relationship? Either way, the only way to quell this storm was to confront my husband. The evening sky was painted with hues of pink and purple as I reached our home. Taking a moment, I took a deep breath, trying to calm my racing heart. The gentle chime of our doorbell announced my arrival. He opened the door, his face lighting up as he saw me. But the smile quickly faded, replaced by a look of concern. "You okay?" he asked, noticing my disheveled appearance. Without a word, I handed him my phone, displaying the picture from the hotel restaurant. His face drained of color, much like Elena's had earlier. "I can explain," he began, but I cut him off. "I met Elena," I said, my voice quivering with mixed emotions. He looked down, his face a mask of guilt and regret. "I should have told you," he began. "I know how this looks, but I swear there was never any romantic involvement. Elena and I were just grieving together." My confusion deepened. "Grieving? Grieving what?" He hesitated. Then, with a deep sigh, he began, "A few years ago, we lost a huge project. It was going to be our legacy, a building that would stand tall for generations. But we lost it due to some internal politics and treachery. It hit both of us hard, especially Elena, as her husband had just passed away. We found comfort in shared sorrow. We promised each other that we'd bounce back, and every year, we celebrated the day of that loss as a reminder of our resilience." I looked at him, my eyes searching for any sign of deceit, but all I saw was raw emotion and vulnerability. "Why didn't you tell me?" I whispered. He took a deep breath. "I didn't want you to see me as a failure. I wanted to be your rock, the strong one. And when we started meeting annually, it became our thing. I realize now how wrong I was in keeping it from you." Tears welled up in my eyes. The storm of emotions inside me, anger, betrayal, relief, and love, threatened to overwhelm. "We promised transparency," I reminded him, my voice breaking. "I know," he murmured, his voice heavy with regret. "And I'm truly sorry." We stood there for what felt like hours, the weight of secrets and misunderstandings pressing down on us. But in that silence, a realization dawned. Our love was strong enough to weather this storm. The next few days were a whirlwind of emotions. We both took time off work, realizing that our relationship needed urgent mending. The walls of our house echoed with conversations, some heated, some tearful, but all essential. One evening, while sitting on our porch, watching the sunset, he said, "You know, in architecture, when a structure is weak, it's not always about tearing it down. Sometimes it's about reinforcing it, making it stronger." I looked at him, sensing the depth of his analogy. "Are we the structure in this scenario?" I asked with a half smile. He nodded. "Yes, and I believe we can reinforce our relationship, make it even stronger." There were counseling sessions, some jointly and some individually. We peeled back the layers of our relationship, understanding the cracks and figuring out how to fill them. The counselor emphasized communication and trust, two elements that had been eroding in our bond. During one session, our therapist handed us a pot with a tiny plant. "This is a symbol of your relationship. Nurture it, water it, give it sunlight, and watch it grow. But remember, it needs constant care." Months turned into a year. The pain of betrayal, though never forgotten, started fading, replaced by a renewed bond. We spent more time together, embarked on trips, and rediscovered each other. One day, I came home to find a small gathering of our closest friends and family in our backyard. I was surprised and looked at him questioningly. He smiled, taking my hand. "This is our recommitment ceremony," he whispered. There, surrounded by loved ones, we renewed our vows, promising to cherish, respect, and communicate. It was a simple event, but the weight of its significance was profound. The plant our therapist had given us had grown, bearing its first flower. It stood as a testament to our journey, from wilted hopes to blooming love. Life isn't about the storms, but how you navigate through them. We had weathered one of our biggest, and in its wake, found a bond that was more robust and more profound.